Alright guys, welcome to the video. I am in Turkey, and if my face is a little bit bloated and swollen, it's because I've just had an operation here. So yeah, just ignore all that. But here today I'm going to talk about testosterone levels and why 800 plus is so important, why you need it, and why life is just so much better when you are at that level. So if we start with why low testosterone is bad, why you don't want to be like down there, I guess a lot of you probably already know certainly what it feels like to be low T, or you know someone who is potentially. I mean, if you're at 500 or less, that's kind of where I would put the benchmark for where if you start going lower than that, you're going to be running into some problems. Because even if you don't have problems now, your testosterone only goes down over time unless you do something about it, to the tune of 1.3% a year, I think is the average. So even if you're not having problems now, you probably will be doing it within the next few years. You're best to act now and prevent that from happening. 500, but any lower than that, the further you go, the more of these problems you're going to have. So these problems are things like some of the external things, some of the more obvious physical things are going to be like, it's going to get easier to gain weight. It'll be easier to put on fat on a physiological level. You'll be less active, you'll be less aggressive in the gym, you'll be less likely to want to do those things in the first place. You're more likely to want to eat, and you're less likely to have the energy and the discipline to live the fitness lifestyle and enjoy it. So that's like a psychological component as well. It's also harder to. It's so much harder to gain muscle. Loads of guys on Twitter will be, or X will be messaging me and asking, my biggest problem is I can't gain muscle. And I'll ask, what's your testosterone level on the blood work? And they're like, I don't know. But then they get the blood work done and it's like 250, 270. It's like, of course you're not gaining muscle. You could follow the best program out there. I could write you, or some, you could follow strong lifts or something, or Arnold Schwarzenegger's program from back in the day, and you could even like you could eat loads of food, do everything. You're still gonna struggle to gain muscle on 250. Like, age doesn't even come into it. Whether you're 25 or 65, testosterone levels that are that low, you just don't have the hormonal infrastructure to get bigger and stronger. It's just not going to happen. So that's one of the most obvious external things. And you get it's harder to grow facial hair if you're very low testosterone. There are kind of exceptions to this because it is kind of genetic as well. You get some Middle Eastern guys who will still grow a good beard even with low T. But the testosterone and the DHT especially is a factor. To say it's all about genetics and it's all about your hair color is false. Hormones definitely play into it, especially DHT. So that's another external one. One of a lot of it's psychological as well. There's the depression side of things. So when your testosterone is getting low, that is highly, highly, highly correlated with depression and feelings of anxiety as well. I always tell people, like, severe psychological issues are very real, and sometimes when you go that deep into the hole, you do need some medication to get back out again. I know there's a lot of people on X and saying that big pharma is always bad. I tend to agree 95% of the time. Most drugs are not required at all. I'm all for the natural approach, but some things can get really serious really quickly. But before you do any of that, you're getting mild depression. The first thing you need to do is get a blood test. Because 9 times out of 10, when there's a depressed guy or there's a guy with severe, crippling social anxiety, he's never 800 test. He's always like 300 or 400, somewhere in that range. and getting his hormones fixed would usually fix the problem before it gets any worse, before going on a load of drugs, a load of meds. Far better solution. Really dry throat as well. So there's the psychological side of things. And I would say this is the biggest benefit to being 800 to 1200 testosterone, which I always talk about, is that it simply makes hard, difficult tasks easier. So, for example, I had an operation yesterday, and I was in under general anesthesia. I was out completely, and as soon as I woke up, I wanted to get out of there and get back to work. They wouldn't let me, I was there for hours afterwards, but the first thing I wanted to do was, can I go, can I go, can I go? I'm ready, I want to get on with stuff. I'm trying to get leaner at the moment. I wanted to go for a walk, do some cardio, something. There was no way they were ever going to let me do that, but that's besides the point. This morning, again, swollen face hurts, didn't get the best night's sleep, But the first thing I did this morning after I had the all-inclusive breakfast was I hit the gym. And I trained very hard as well, considering all the circumstances. Got a really good leg workout in. Legs are very important for testosterone production. Did some cardio. And I have been working here pretty much since, and it's now 20 to 5 in the evening. I'm doing these YouTube videos again, which is a new project for me. I'm happy doing it. This is the point. I want to do all this and I'm enjoying it. Whereas when you're low test, you get burnt out very easily, both in the gym and with work, with new projects. By the time you get home from work, you're exhausted, you don't have any energy to do anything else. And even if you do try and force yourself to do these, side projects or evening workouts, you feel like crap. I don't know if I can swear on YouTube, I don't know what the rules are, but you just feel terrible, you don't enjoy it. So I would say the biggest thing is testosterone makes building things so much more enjoyable. Whether it's you building your physique, building a business, getting promoted in your career, doing extra stuff, and it feels good. And it's not going to change your life within a few days of this, but if you add all these extra things together, day in, day out, week in, week out, over the months and years, your life will be completely different. You'll be a different person. Within a year, you can achieve some massive things, and it's all because your testosterone is in the ideal range. And it's not just testosterone, it's also free testosterone. It's getting the test to estrogen ratio on point, cortisol and stress levels, chronic cortisol levels within as low as possible, really, within reason. Acute cortisol is a different thing. I'm talking about stress here. But yeah, there's the psychological components, there's the physical stuff, the energy, the drive, the body composition. There's some other physical things, sex drive, morning wood. The morning wood thing really gets a lot of guys very concerned because they've not had it in ages, and I fully understand why, because you're a man, you want to be at your sexual prime, you want to be desirable, you want to be functioning properly down there, you want to be able to do the job, so to speak. And if you've not had morning wood in, I don't know, months, it's probably a sign that you're on the decline, and no one likes that feeling regardless of your age. There's a lot of guys in their early 30s who haven't had morning wood in months or years, which is kind of sad. Like, something's a little bit off there, it shouldn't be happening. You might not have it to the same degree as you did when you were 16, but you shouldn't be going months without having any morning wood. Like, you're supposed to be getting some of this. It's a really good sign that your body's literally secreting testosterone when you wake up and it's, rock hard, could hang a towel on it kind of thing. So yeah, there's all of those things. It's everything. It's the way you look, it's the way you feel, it's your mood, it's your energy, it's the ease of building a business or getting promoted in your career. I have a business bias because I've been self-employed for 5 years now. But any kind of work-related thing, it'll make sales easier because you've got more energy and passion. If you're a sales guy or you're a trader, it'll help you focus for longer. I speak to a lot of traders. Then there's the sexual stuff as well. There's just your life will be better for so many reasons when you're in the right range, which is 800 to 1200. So I think that more or less answers the question. If you want to do more reading on testosterone, this topic in general, the link to my website is in the bio, and there's some good blog articles there, and obviously a load of products. And depending on your need, there'll be something there for you. So check them out, and I will see you in the next one.